Welcome back to Business English for Success. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where your English grammar is correct, but the conversation still feels a bit hesitant? Especially when you're looking for the appropriate way to respond in a professional setting.
It happens to many professionals, Clara. Often, it's not just about the vocabulary, but how we use our words to maintain professional harmony. Small, polite interactions can build a positive impression on how our colleagues and partners perceive us.
Exactly, Julian. That is why today we are focusing on 5 practical workplace situations, those everyday moments where you want to be more prepared. We will provide you with clear and professional phrases to support you in these everyday conversations.
Whether you're listening while working or following our practice, listen, and repeat method, this video is designed to accompany your professional growth. Let's start with our first scenario: how to gracefully handle a moment when you forget someone's name during a greeting.
Scenario number 1. Imagine you are at a networking event or a busy office hallway. You see a partner you've met before, but for a split second you need a quick reminder of their name. It is a natural moment that can happen to anyone in a professional setting.
Exactly, Clara. In this situation, instead of feeling hesitant, we can use a polite approach called the professional confirmation. Instead of focusing on the brief silence, focus on your interest in their professional details. This keeps the conversation pleasant and respectful.
That's a kind approach, Julian. Let's listen to how I handled this situation with Julian at a conference. Oh, hello. It is very nice to see you here again. How have you been since our last meeting?
I've been very well, thank you. It's great to run into you. The event today is quite organized, isn't it?
It truly is. I was just sharing some of our project updates with the team. By the way, could you please remind me of your full name again? I want to make sure I have your correct details for our professional contact list.
Of course. It's Julian Vance from the marketing department.
Thank you, Julian. I appreciate that. I've been looking forward to discussing the new proposal with you.
Likewise, let's definitely find a moment to connect further later today.
Julian, in that conversation, I asked for the full name. Why is that more suitable than a casual apology?
Great question. A casual apology might feel a bit personal, but asking for a full name for a contact list or records makes it a useful professional step. It shows you are organized and value accuracy in your business relationships.
Let's practice 2 key sentences from this scenario. Please listen and repeat. Could you please remind me of your full name again?
Could you please remind me of your full name again?
I want to make sure I have your correct details for our list.
I want to make sure I have your correct details for our list.
Good job. You are practicing practical communication phrases.
Now that the introduction is handled smoothly, what happens when you're in a meeting and someone shares a useful idea?
How do you give a compliment that sounds sincere and professional? We will explore the method of clear appreciation in our next situation. Let's continue. Now, let's move to scenario number 2. You are in a team meeting and a colleague shares an idea that you truly find useful. You want to show your support and give a compliment in a way that feels professional and sincere.
This is where we use the clear appreciation approach. Instead of just saying, "That's a great idea," which is quite common, we focus on the positive impact of the idea to the project. This makes your feedback sound balanced and meaningful.
Right. It shifts the focus from a personal opinion to a professional observation. Let's hear how I handle this with Julian during a project briefing.
And that is why I suggest we update the client reporting process once a month instead of every week. It could save the team about 4 hours of data entry.
Julian, I really appreciate your perspective on that. I think your suggestion to move to monthly reporting is very practical.
Thank you, Clara. I just thought it might help us focus more on the actual analysis.
It definitely would. Linking the reports to our monthly milestones makes a lot of sense for our current workload.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm happy to draft a small outline for the new process if the team agrees.
That would be very helpful. Thank you for taking the initiative on this.
Clara, you used the phrase practical and mentioned monthly milestones. Why did you choose those specific words?
Because that's a good idea can sometimes feel a bit general. By saying, I think your suggestion is very practical, you are acknowledging the logic behind the idea. Mentioning monthly milestones shows you were listening closely to the details. This kind of appreciation feels much more professional. Now, let's practice 2 clear phrases for giving professional appreciation. I think your suggestion is very practical.
I think your suggestion is very practical.
I appreciate your perspective on that.
I appreciate your perspective on that.
Good job. These small choices in your vocabulary build better professional interactions. Giving appreciation is wonderful, but what about professional boundaries?
What do you do when a colleague invites you to lunch, but you are truly focused on a deadline? How do you decline politely while keeping the relationship positive? We will explore the professional priority in our next situation. Let's continue.
Now, let's look at scenario number 3. Imagine a colleague invites you to join them for lunch, but you are currently focused on a task with an upcoming deadline. Declining can sometimes feel a bit delicate because you want to maintain a friendly connection.
To handle this, we use the professional priority approach. Instead of just focusing on being unavailable, we provide a brief professional reason, and more importantly, we offer another opportunity. This shows that you value the relationship.
It's about being clear about your workload while staying warm and polite. Let's listen to how I navigate this situation with Julian in the office.
Hey, Clara. A few of us are heading out to that new Italian place for lunch. Would you like to join us?
Oh, that sounds lovely, Julian. I truly appreciate the invitation. However, I'm currently focusing on completing this report before the afternoon meeting.
Oh, I see. No problem at all. We want you to feel at ease with your progress.
Thank you for understanding. I'd love to join you all another time, perhaps later this week when my schedule is more flexible.
That sounds like a wonderful plan. I'll check in with you on Thursday then.
Perfect. Have a wonderful lunch.
Clara, you didn't just say, I'm busy. Why is the phrase, I'm currently focusing on, more useful?
Good observation. Saying I'm busy can sound a bit abrupt. By saying I'm currently focusing on this report or I'm finishing up this proposal, you provide a professional context. Also, adding, I'd love to join you another time, ensures the social connection remains positive.
Let's practice these 2 polite and professional ways to prioritize your tasks.
I'm currently focusing on completing this report.
I'm currently focusing on completing this report.
I'd love to join you all another time.
I'd love to join you all another time.
Good job. You're learning how to manage your time with kindness.
Managing our own time is important, but what about when we need support from others who are also working hard? How do you ask a colleague for assistance when you know their schedule is full?
In our next situation, we will discuss the gentle availability check, a very respectful way to seek support. Let's move to the next part together. Scenario number 4. We have all been there. You are working on a priority task and realize you could use a bit of support or a quick review from a colleague. However, you are mindful that they are also dedicated to their own responsibilities.
In this case, we use the availability check approach. Instead of asking, can you help me, which might feel like an unexpected request, we first ask about their current workload. This shows that you respect their time and value their contributions.
Exactly. It creates a supportive environment where everyone feels appreciated. Let's listen to how I handle this request for assistance with Julian.
Hi, Julian. Do you have a brief moment? I wanted to check your current availability before asking for a small support.
Hi, Clara. I'm completing a few tasks, but I have a short window before my next meeting. What's on your mind?
Thank you. I'm finalizing the project proposal and was wondering if you could provide some brief feedback on the budget section when you have a chance.
I can certainly take a look. Would it be suitable if I get back to you by tomorrow morning?
That would be perfect and very helpful. I really value your perspective on these figures.
Happy to help, Clara. Send it over and I'll review it as soon as possible.
Julian, I started by asking about your current capacity. Why is that a better choice than just asking, are you busy?
Are you busy can sometimes lead to a very brief answer, but asking about capacity is a professional way to acknowledge that they have other priorities. It opens a more constructive conversation about timing. It's a useful way to communicate in a professional workplace.
Let's practice these two respectful phrases for seeking support. I wanted to check your current capacity first.
I wanted to check your current capacity first.
I would appreciate your feedback when you have a chance.
I would appreciate your feedback when you have a chance.
Good job. You are building positive habits for professional collaboration.
We have covered introductions, meetings, and collaboration, but there is one final skill that is very helpful in everyday work.
How do you end a conversation gracefully when you need to return to your work? In our final situation, we will explore the professional conclusion, ending a chat in a polite and professional way. Let's discover this together in the final part. Finally, we reach our fifth scenario. You are enjoying a pleasant conversation with a colleague or a client, but you realize it is time to return to your workstation or attend another commitment. How do you end the chat while keeping the connection warm and respectful?
This is what we call the professional conclusion. The key is to acknowledge the value of the conversation first and then provide a clear, professional reason for leaving. This ensures the interaction ends on a positive and organized note.
It's about being clear about your schedule, yet very polite. Let's observe how I handled this transition politely with Julian.
And that's how we managed to finish the project ahead of schedule. It was quite a useful journey for the whole team.
That is truly great to hear, Julian. I've really enjoyed learning about your team's progress. However, I should probably head back to my desk now to stay on top of my afternoon schedule.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't realize how quickly time was passing.
It was wonderful catching up with you. Let's continue this conversation during our next break or at the meeting tomorrow.
I'd like that very much. Have a productive afternoon, Clara.
Thank you, Julian. You too.
Clara, instead of saying, I have to go, you said, I should probably head back to my desk. Why is that so useful?
Because I have to go can sometimes feel a bit short. Using I should probably sounds more like a gentle observation of your schedule. Also, suggesting a specific time to talk again shows that you value the conversation and look forward to future updates. Let's practice these two helpful phrases for a graceful conclusion. I've really enjoyed learning about your progress.
I've really enjoyed learning about your progress.
I should probably head back to my desk now.
I should probably head back to my desk now.
Good work! We have now explored 5 practical approaches for your everyday office interactions.
We have explored 5 very practical scenarios today. Each one is a practical step for your daily work.
But before we finish, let's do a quick recap to see which approach you will use tomorrow. Let's move to our final summary and a helpful practice session together. Julian, what a productive session we've had today. Looking back at these 5 scenarios, which approach do you find most helpful for a professional setting?
That is a great question, Clara. I think the availability check from situation 4 is very useful. It turns a simple request for support into a respectful, professional conversation.
I agree. And for me, the professional conclusion is such a subtle yet important skill to maintain positive relationships while staying focused on our work goals.
We would love to hear from you. Which of these 5 situations have you experienced recently? Have you ever used a similar phrase to handle a conversation at the office? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. We truly value your professional experiences.
Before we conclude, let's bring everything together. We have selected the most helpful phrases from today's session for one final practice. This will help you remember and use them naturally tomorrow.
Please listen to Clara's slow version first, then repeat after my natural intonation. Ready? Let's begin.
Could you please remind me of your full name again?
Could you please remind me of your full name again?
I think your suggestion is very practical.
I think your suggestion is very practical.
I'm currently focusing on finishing this report.
I'm currently focusing on finishing this report.
I wanted to check your current capacity first.
I wanted to check your current capacity first.
I should probably head back to my desk now.
I should probably head back to my desk now.
Good job! Regular practice accompanies your professional communication.
We hope these simple yet useful approaches give you more comfort in your everyday office interactions. Remember, clear communication is very helpful for your daily work.
Thank you for joining us today at Business English for Success. It is a pleasure to be part of your professional development journey.
Have a wonderful and productive week ahead. We look forward to seeing you in our next video to explore more practical skills together.
Goodbye for now, and keep speaking with ease.